Imagine living in a world where your wealth grows like a hidden river, powerful, steady, and completely unseen. No one knows about the money piling up in your accounts. No one suspects the properties you own, the stocks you hold, or the freedom you've quietly secured. This isn't a fantasy. This is the reality of the quiet millionaire. Let me show you how it's done. It starts with a single question. Does this add value to my life or just my image? The quiet wealthy don't chase flashy cars or designer labels. They drive cars that last decades, not days. They fix what's broken instead of replacing it. That $800 monthly car payment everyone else is making, they invest it. Over 10 years, that's $150,000 working for them. Not for a bank. But it's not just cars. They apply this question to everything. The $200 monthly gym membership they never use, the $5 daily snack habit, the impulse buys disguised as retail therapy. Every dollar saved isn't just a dollar. It's a seed. Plant enough seeds and one day you'll wake up to a forest. Take clothing, for example. The quiet millionaire doesn't chase fast fashion or luxury brands. They buy timeless pieces, a well-tailored blazer, durable boots, a classic watch that last years, not seasons. They repair soles, replace buttons, and re-dye faded fabrics. That $500 saved by avoiding trendy outfits, it goes into a real estate investment trust that pays them $50 a year forever. They don't look poor, they look intentional. Frugality isn't about deprivation. It's about redirecting money to what matters. The quiet rich don't eat rice and beans to suffer. They skip the $7 lattes to fund their future. They cook meals at home not because they can't afford restaurants, but because they'd rather spend $50 a week on groceries than $500 on takeout. They buy secondhand furniture not because it's cheap, but because they'd rather invest the $2,000 they saved into a dividend stock that pays them $100 a year forever. Every dollar saved becomes a soldier in their invisible army, compounding in silence. They even optimize the small stuff. They use public libraries for books and movies instead of streaming subscriptions. They negotiate internet bills, refinance mortgages when rates drop, and repurpose old jars into storage containers. It's not about being cheap, it's about rewiring their brain to see money as a tool, not a trophy. While others gamble on trends, the quiet millionaire bets on time. They pour money into boring, bulletproof assets, index funds that mirror the market, rental properties in stable neighborhoods, dividend stocks that pay like clockwork. No adrenaline, no bragging rights, just math doing its work. They don't care about beating the market or chasing 10x returns. They care about steady, predictable growth. A $10,000 investment in an S&P 500 index fund becomes $100,000 in 25 years. Add $500 a month and it becomes $1.2 million. No genius required, just discipline. They diversify silently. Beyond stocks and real estate, they buy treasury bonds for stability, invest in farmland through crowdfunding platforms, or own a slice of a local laundromat. They don't need to talk about these investments at dinner parties. They just collect the checks. Patience is their superpower. They don't panic when markets crash or cheer when they soar. They invest like robots, ignoring the noise. In 2008, when everyone else was selling their stocks in terror, the quiet millionaire kept buying. In 2020, when the world shut down, they doubled down. They know that every crisis is a fire sale for the long-term investor. A $500 monthly investment becomes $1.2 million in 30 years. Not because they're lucky, but because they're stubborn. They've studied history. They know the Great Depression, the dot-com crash, and the 2008 recession all had one thing in common. The market eventually recovered. Always. So they treat downturns like a clearance rack, loading up on discounted assets while others flee. The quiet rich build streams of income that flow in the background. Rental properties managed by companies. Dividends auto-reinvested. Royalties from a side hustle no one knows about. Money works while they sleep, travel, or play with their kids. No hustle porn, no spotlight. They don't need to post about their hustle because their income isn't tied to their time. They could spend 6 months hiking the Appalachian Trail and their bank account would still grow. That's the power of passive income, the ultimate silent wealth machine. Take Sarah, a teacher in Ohio. By day, she grades papers. By night, she owns 3 vending machines in local office buildings. They generate $1,200 a month, enough to cover her mortgage. Her colleagues think she's frugal. They have no idea she's debt-free at 45. Or James, a mechanic in Texas. He spends weekends restoring vintage motorcycles. He doesn't sell them. He rents them out for photo shoots and weddings. That side hustle funds his retirement account. His friends think he's just a gearhead. They don't know he's worth $2 million. They disappear from the comparison game. When friends upgrade to McMansions, they stay in their starter home and invest the difference. When coworkers lease new cars, they drive a paid-off sedan. Every dollar spent to impress others is a dollar stolen from their future. They've seen the math. A $500,000 mortgage at 6% interest costs nearly $1 million over 30 years. So they buy a smaller house, pay it off in 10 years, and invest the rest. They'd rather own their life than own a trophy. They're immune to lifestyle creep. When they get a raise, they don't upgrade their apartment. They upgrade their 401k contributions. When they inherit money, they don't buy a boat. They buy municipal bonds. Their lifestyle looks static to outsiders, but their net worth climbs like a silent rocket. They don't post their wins online. No humble brags about net worth. No envy bait. The quiet millionaire knows attention is a tax. The more you show, the more people ask for. Friends start expecting loans. Family members invent emergencies. Strangers DM them for advice. So they stay under the radar, protecting their peace in their pockets. Their social media is a ghost town. Their LinkedIn hasn't been updated in years. They'd rather be unknown than exploited. They've mastered the art of saying no. When their brother asks to borrow $10,000 for a risky business idea, they politely decline. When their best friend plans a $5,000 group vacation, they opt out. They don't apologize. They don't explain. They know no is the shield that guards their financial kingdom. They're ruthless about keeping what they earn. Smart tax strategies, retirement accounts, holding investments long-term to slash capital gains. The quiet wealthy don't just make money, they guard it like dragons guarding treasure. They max out their 401ks and IRAs, not just for the tax breaks, but because they know every dollar sheltered from taxes today becomes $10 tomorrow. They hire accountants not to cheat the system, but to work it perfectly. They'd rather give their money to charities than to the IRS. They even optimize their giving. They donate appreciated stock to avoid capital gains taxes. They set up donor-advised funds to anonymize their charity. They help their niece pay for college, not with a flashy check, but by anonymously paying the bursar's office. Years later, the truth reveals itself. The quiet millionaire isn't stressed about bills or layoffs. They take months off work. They retire early. They donate anonymously, help family quietly, and live on their terms, all while neighbors whisper, "How do they afford that?" They're the parent at every soccer game, the volunteer at the food bank, the traveler who explores Bali in the off-season. They're not rich in the way the world expects, they're rich in the way that matters. Silent wealth isn't about sacrifice, it's about freedom. Freedom from debt, freedom from opinions, freedom to live a life that's rich in everything that matters. No one will applaud you, no one will envy you. And that's the point, because applause fades, envy poisons, but freedom lasts forever. Are you ready to disappear into financial freedom? Start today. The quieter you become, the more you can hear your future calling. Skip the latte. Buy the index fund. Ignore the noise. Let time work its magic. One day you'll wake up and realize you've become a ghost in the system, untouchable, unstoppable, and utterly free. The quiet millionaire's mantra? Build in silence. Let your choices echo. Now go. Your future is waiting, and it's quieter than you think.